This is Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Albertsons. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley, here with Greg Hansen. Greg, you have a column running this week about the unassailable Tucson sports records. You're going to start with Kadeem Carey. The man put up 4,239 yards during 3 seasons at the University of Arizona, surpassed the great Art Lupino, the great Trung candidate, everybody else in Arizona history. Is that one of those records that we will never see broken?
I don't think it is anymore.
Wow.
Based on the number of plays you have now in college football, I think it might take 50 years like it did from Lupino to his the people after him. But I think someone will break that someday.
Wow. What do you think are kind of the most unassailable records in Tucson history? What's going to be the toughest marks to set?
Okay, here's one. Alicia Hollowell, who I don't think when people think about U of A softball pitchers, I don't think they think of her as one of the elite of the elite.
No.
She has 500 more strikeouts than anyone in U of A pitching history.
Wow. Jenny Finch?
500 more than Jenny Finch.
Taryn Mowat?
Mowat is actually second.
Wow.
But Hollowell has like 1,750 and Mowat has about 1,250. I was kind of surprised to look at that.
Well, and in the new age of college softball where everybody can hit, there are more home runs and more scoring, it seems, than ever. I mean, it seems like that's a mark that's probably never going to be touched.
And you've got to be the starter for all 4 years, like Alicia Hollowell was. Mackenzie Fowler in high school, her senior year at CDO, when she was the best player in the country, had an ERA of 0.04. Now that one's not going to be broken.
I bet she went to bed at night thinking about that 0.04. Yeah. Wow.
She gave up 1 hit per 7 innings as a senior at CDO.
Wow. And she and the other best high school player in the state at the time was Dallas Escobedo.
Right.
I mean, every bit as good as Kenzie Fowler in high school and maybe a better college player.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Wow, that's crazy. This is Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Albertsons. Ryan Finley here with Greg Hansen. We're talking about some of these great sports records that may never be broken in southern Arizona. Greg, give me another one.
All right, here's one. David Mills played center for South Point basketball in early 1960s. He had 22 block shots in a game.
Whoa.
Won't be broken.
How tall was David Mills?
He was a very good player at DePaul. Played in a couple of NITs when the NIT was a big deal. He was like 6'8", 6'9". No one's going to block 23 shots.
Wow. Who was the poor team that they played? Do you know?
They played Yuma. He also had 21 rebounds that night. I looked it up in the files the other day.
Wow. Yuma's nickname Greg?
I don't know what his nickname. Stretch.
No, Yuma's nickname. Yuma
Criminals.
The Criminals. Criminals got robbed in that game, for sure. All right, give me one more before we sign off here.
Okay, here's a basketball one. Julie Brossi from Catalina Foothills scored 2,900 points and change, led Catalina to the state title. She's the #1 scorer in state history in girls high school basketball. #2 in Tucson. Paula Pyers from Santa Rita is 900 points behind her.
Oh my gosh.
And Paula Pyers was like all world when she played at Santa Rita. Went to USC, scored 50 points in a game. She's 900 points behind Julie Brossi.
Well, Julie Brossi is one of those people too, and it doesn't get talked about enough. Certainly we write about it, but you don't really see it. She very quietly has posted one of the better basketball lives of any woman in state history. I mean, she goes from Catalina Foothills, U of A, where she was a 4-year player, a pretty good one. She's now an assistant with the Phoenix Mercury.
Right.
And, I mean, and somebody who you could see being a head coach in the WNBA or a head coach at a place like the U of A if that job were to ever come open.
She had it all, yeah. She was very excited. I don't know if you lived here when she played.
I did.
I went to a couple of her games. She was in another world, yeah.
She's a shooter, spot-up shooter.
Here's another one. Katharina Turner, Amphi High, about the best high school basketball player other than Brossi and Pyers in Tucson history. Had 17 steals in a game. Not going to be broken.
I bet she didn't have all those steals against the Criminals, though.
No.
Yuma Criminals,
they
lead the state in steals every year. Yeah. Yuma Criminals. Okay, I'm done making bad punny jokes, I promise. For the rest about some of these unassailable Southern Arizona sports records, read Greg Hansen's column in this week's Star. For Greg Hansen, I'm Ryan Finley. This is Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Albertsons. We'll see you next time.